So hello everyone and welcome to Career Launcher. So in today's class, we are going to discuss about the Hindu analysis. I hope you all are aware that every day at 8 p.m. we are having the Hindu analysis, which is generally taken by Govind sir. But on Saturday, I take the class. So let us begin. So am I audible, visible? Is everything fine? Agar everything is fine, please write yes. So am I audible? Okay, fine. So let us begin with, yes, good evening. Player 456, Nirali Mehta, Arya, good evening. Okay, I think my voice is clear, right? Yes, fine. So we'll discuss the first article. Just hold on. Okay. So the first article on the top page, the first page talks about PM Modi hails 35 million diaspora as India's pride. What is diaspora? Can anyone tell me? ये क्या होता है? In the live chat, please tell me what is diaspora. This is an important article. थोड़ा सा हम लोग ये भी discuss करेंगे, but this one is important. In fact, we'll be having a class next week also, where we'll be discussing about PM Modi's visit to 5 countries. So we'll discuss that as well. So basically, he's actually on a trip to visit to multiple countries. So he has gone to Canada, Ghana, not Canada, sorry. He had gone to Ghana, and from there he is actually right now in Trinidad and Tobago. Dispersed population नहीं, diaspora का मतलब होता है, जैसे if I use the word Indian diaspora, it means Indians living abroad. So it can include NRIs, means non-resident Indian, as well as person of Indian origin also. Okay. Means Indian origin people also living there, or an Indian citizen living outside. So that is what the term diaspora is used. Sometimes the word expat is also used. Expatriates, Indian expatriates, ऐसे लिखा होगा. Means those Indians who are living abroad. Okay. So basically, 6th generation Indian origin citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. So they are from Indian origin, but they are living for the past 6th generation in Trinidad and Tobago. So Trinidad and Tobago is actually where? Which continent? Where? कहाँ मिलेगा? A very famous cricketer is from there. So Trinidad and Tobago is part of West Indies island or Caribbean group of islands, and a very famous cricketer. I'm sure you must have heard his name. Brian Lara is from there. Okay. Okay, so he will receive. So he has said that we will give OCI card, overseas citizen of India. That is what they call. So if overseas citizen of India, it is actually, if someone gets OCI card, he is not the citizen of India. Please be careful. Although the word mentions overseas citizen of India, but he is not a citizen if he gets an OCI card. OCI card means the person is a citizen of some other country, but if he or she has got OCI card, it becomes easy for that person to come to India. Okay, that is the idea behind. He says PM refers to close cultural link with Girmitia community in the Caribbean nation and India. So basically, Girmitia community is related with endangered laborers. So especially in 19th and 20th century, this was very prominent. So especially done by British sector. So from British India, Indians were taken to work as a worker in Fiji, South Africa, Mauritius, Caribbean, Trinidad, Tobago, British Guiana, Suriname, Jamaica, etc. So Indians were taken. यहाँ पे Fiji है एक जगह, वहां ले जाया गया. Then एक Mauritius में, even you won't believe, but yes, I think a prime minister is also from Indian origin, as far as I could remember. So Mauritius is है ना. So similarly, South Africa में the Caribbean islands like Trinidad, Tobago, तो Caribbean islands यहाँ होते हैं, यहाँ पे इंडिया है. This is Brazil, this is Guyana, यहाँ पे Trinidad and Tobago. So here also a lot of Indians were taken from India to Trinidad and Tobago. So today we are witnessing their 6th generation are living there. Okay, that is what you should be knowing. So he met there with Girmitia community, means their parents had gone, or their great grandparents had come from 6th generation. I mean 6th generation back, they had come from India to work as an indentured labor. Okay. So that is what you should know. 35 million members of the Indian diaspora spread across the world are India's pride, says Prime Minister Modi. And 35 million means 3.5 crore. Hai na? At an event of the people of Indian origin in Trinidad and Tobago on Friday. Addressing the event, Mr. Modi outlined various cultural, educational, and financial measures that India is undertaking to strengthen links between the homeland and diasporic Indians, and announced that sixth-generation Indian origin citizens of Trinidad and Tobago will receive OCI card. So if they get OCI card, even if they are citizen of, let's say, Trinidad and Tobago, still they can come to India very easy with very less paperwork. Okay, that is the idea behind giving OCI card to them. ठीक है. सो अगर इंडिया OCI कार्ड दे देते हैं तो जो टेरिनिडाद टोबैको के सिटीजन है ना, जो कि पहले मतलब इंडियन ओरिजिन के लोग हैं लेकिन उनके पेरेंट्स जो है 6th जनरेशन पहले आ चुके थे. सो दीस पीपल हु आर एक्चुअली फ्रॉम इंडियन ओरिजिन, है ना, दे विल गेट OCI कार्ड, मींस दे कैन कम टू इंडिया वेरी इजी, है ना, वेरी इजीली, इवन इफ दे आर टेरिनिडाद एंड टोबैगो सिटीजन, है ना. सो हाँ, देखो यहाँ पर अगर आप देखोगे, आई एम श्योर यू मस्ट हैव सीन दिस. देखो ये वाला ऐसा. So this one is actually the West Indies group of island, है ना, और Caribbean islands. तो यहाँ पे Trinidad and Tobago, है ना. So that is what you should be knowing. Okay, now we deeply value the strength and diaspora support of our diaspora. With our 35 million people spread across world, the Indian diaspora is our pride, है ना. Each one of you is a Rashtradoot and an ambassador. So basically, PM Modi said that all of you who are living here, although you are citizen of this country, but since you are having roots in India, you all are our ambassador. Okay, highlighting the religious connection with the community with India and Mahakumbh. And so he talked about religious connectivity also, and Mahakumbh, etc. PM Modi said the government of India was working to strengthen ties with Girmitiyas, a former endangered laborers, that we are trying our best to have a good relation with Girmitiyas and the people who had gone for endangered labor during the British time. Okay? Who were taken from India during colonial period to Mauritius, Fiji, Southern Africa, Caribbean. Yes, that is what we have discussed. The Prime Minister referred to the close cultural link between Girmitiyas and a community of Trinidad and Tobago and India, especially from Bihar and along with East UP, as the homeland of Bhojpur. So a lot of people from Bhojpur district. Actually, Bhojpur is actually a language, Bhojpuri language, but it's a district also, Bhojpur district in Bihar. Okay, just attached to Patna district. You will find on the west of Patna district, you will find Bhojpur district. So from where the Bhojpuri language has come out. Okay. So he's talking about that a lot of Indians, people from Bihar and Eastern UP had gone to this place, Trinidad and Tobago, as an endangered labor in 19th, 20th century. Okay. Mr. Modi announced that the government of India was mapping the past and reiterated a number of initiatives, etc. Launched during Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. Okay, when do we celebrate Pravasi Bharatiya Divas? Please tell me. When do we celebrate Pravasi Bharatiya Divas and why? January 9. Yes, Nirali Mehta, very good. So we celebrate why? Why 9 January? What is so special? Yes, player 456, Nirali Mehta, you both are right. So basically what happened was 9 January 1915, Mahatma Gandhi returned back from South Africa. That is why 9 January is celebrated as. Yes, Nirali Mehta, right? Pravasiya Bharatiya Divas. Or what we call it as non-resident Indian Day. Okay. Right, Nirali. Very good. Now, let's move on to the next article on the first page, talking about a Supreme Court to examine Tamil Nadu's plea against High Court stay on university laws. See, what happened was, there was a provision which talked about the governor's power to appoint vice chancellors in universities, in state universities. In a state university, governor had power to appoint vice chancellors. Okay. But later on, Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly passed an order. Passed the law. And it transferred the power of governor to the state government. Now the state government has the power to appoint vice chancellors in state university rather than rather than the governor. Okay. So what happened was to against this law, it was challenged in Madras High Court, and Madras High Court is passed an interim order staying it. Okay. Sorry. So basically, what is the issue? Basically, UGCs have said that this is against the UGC regulation of 2018. पूर्वा नहीं समझे, देखो होता क्या स्टेट में, लेट मी एक्सप्लेन अगेन. We are having two, generally we are having a governor and a chief minister who is heading the council of ministers, है ना, मंत्री परिषद जिसको कहते हैं. ठीक है. Now mostly all the powers is with the chief minister and governor generally approves it, है ना, generally that is the case. Okay. But now when a vice chancellor is appointed, vice chancellor of a state university is appointed, the rule said that governor will appoint originally. So in Tamil Nadu, the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly passed a bill, and it said that instead of the governor, it is the state government who will appoint. Okay. Now this matter was challenged in the High Court, and High Court had passed an interim order staying it. Okay, that is what the case. Now the matter has been appealed in the Supreme Court by the Tamil Nadu government. Okay, so our appeal has raised question of law with wide ramifications, etc. So, but UGC has said that the law made by the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly, that taking the power from governor and giving it to the state government, is not correct because it violates UGC's regulation. That is what you should be knowing. So, so these are the judges who actually said that issued notice to the petitioner in High Court, Advocate A.K. Venkat Chalapati, the Union Government, the UGC. So the matter will now be heard by the Supreme Court also. So let us see what will happen. Okay, let's move on to the next one. India tells WTO, World Trade Organization, that it may levy retaliatory tariffs. Tariff में एक तरह का import tax, a sort of an import duty, worth rupees to $724 million on US imports. Okay, so why? Because I hope you all are aware that Donald Trump had said on Liberation Day and in April that he will put 26% tariff on India because India is putting a lot of tariff, and that is why I'll be also putting tariff. You know, he had shown this board also that I'll be putting this much of tariff, etc. Okay, so and he had given 8 July deadline. And after that, there were reports that India is trying for a US trade deal so that there should be some negotiation should be done. But there were issues on export of GM crops, cow milk, etc. So these were some of the issues. And yesterday I was reading this article where the Mr. Piyush Goyal, he's the Commerce Minister of India, he had said no trade deal under time pressure, national interest supreme. So he had said that perhaps he's referring to this, that maybe by 8 July we'll not be having a perfect agreement or something like that. Okay, so that is what it is. ठीक है, तो इसमें क्या है, तो इंडिया ने कहा कि हम लोग भी टैक्स लगाएंगे, आप लगाओ टैरिफ. If US will import tariff, we will import further more tariff. Okay, so Indian government notified the WTO of its proposal to levy retaliatory tariff of amounting to nearly $724 million on the US in response to the country's increased tariff plan, है ना. तो जैसा अमेरिका ने कहा कि we will import tariff on Indian exports, so India has also said that okay, if you will export us to India, we will also put tariff on that. So these are the things. It is sort of a, we can say, sort of a tariff war type thing. Okay. Let's move on further. Nepa virus resurfaces in Kerala, 2 cases reported. Now, please tell me that Nepa virus was originally found where? For the first time, in which country? So Nepa virus are actually mostly found in Kerala. Whenever it comes to India, the first state generally which witnesses it is actually Kerala. NIV, National Institute of Virology, Pune, on Friday confirmed Nepa infection in 38-year-old woman. And of course, it is very contagious. That is why they are wearing this PPE kit. Contagious means communicable disease. मतलब फैल सकती है, जैसे कोविड कैसे था उस टाइप का, something like that. It can spread also. Yes, Malaysia. Yes, Nirali Mehta, right? So अगर आप इसको देखोगे case fatality rate 40 to 75% है. Means if a person is affected with Nepa, 40 to 75% he can die. Like, I mean, just for understanding purpose, है ना. And they are spread through fruit bats of this family, है ना. There's no treatment or vaccine available for either people or animals. So just you need supportive care, but exact vaccine or treatment is not available according to WHO's website. And the WHO's website says it is a zoonotic disease. Means zoo मतलब क्या होता है? Animal. It can be transmitted from animal to human. Okay, it is first recognized in 1999 during an outbreak among pig farmers. Okay, that is what you should be knowing. Okay, let's move on further. Two democracies and the echoes of tyranny. So basically, he's Mr. Sanjay Hegde. He's actually a senior advocate in the Supreme Court of India, and he is talking about the US and India also. Okay. So yesterday was 4th July. You know what was 4th July? US Declaration of Independence was signed on which day? 4th July, which year? Which year? And there was a question in previous year question, somewhere CLAT, MH, CLAT में नहीं पूछा था, ALET में या MH SETI में या SLAT में कहीं पूछा था कि US Declaration of Independence जो था, who drafted that? So year बताइए, 4th July in which year US Declaration of Independence was signed? 4th July 1776. Okay. And US Declaration, US Declaration of Independence was drafted by which person? It's a very famous question. Asked 2-3 years back in some exam. In a law interest exam, not CLAT, but I think ALET में पूछा था, ये MH SET में या SLAT में, either of the three में, हमको याद आ रहा है. Exactly, I'm not able to recall which exam, but either of the three. In the last 3-4 years, अगर आप PYQ उठाओगे, तो आपको मिल जाएगा. Who drafted? Please tell me. थॉमस जेफरसन. ठीक है. डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस है ना. सो ये यूएस डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस 4 जुलाई 1776. थॉमस जेफरसन. दिस वाज आस्क्ड इन द एग्जाम PYQ. ठीक है. सो जस्ट हैव एन आइडिया. बिकॉज दे हैड गिवन ऑप्शन थॉमस जेफरसन, जॉर्ज वॉशिंगटन, अब्राहम लिंकन. ऐसा 4 ऑप्शन रहेगा तो बहुत मुश्किल है ना. अनलेस until you know it, because these two all are related with America, है ना. So just remember it. ठीक है ना. Let's move on further. अब इसमें इतना डिटेल जाना है अमेरिका के बारे में तो नहीं जाना, बट यस ये पता होना चाहिए दैट रिसेंटली वी हैव कंप्लीटेड 50 years ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस अंडर इंदिरा गांधी जी. So basically this date is very, very important. I have told you many times, 25th June 1975. Maybe this date will be asked in the exam. Why? Because if you add 50 years, it is 25th June 2025. ठीक है. That is what you should know. So मैंने इस पर वीडियो भी बनाया. So go to our channel, go to the live section and go here. If you scroll down, you will find this. This is very, very, very important this year. So those who are attempting CLAT or ALET this year or any other exam, for this year, this topic is very, very, very important. Please watch it. And there is very highly likelihood that they will give a question. Okay. So he's saying, the author is saying that it suspended civil liberties. इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? Means it suspended fundamental rights, right to freedom of speech and expression. It did not allow to criticize the government or something like that. Censor the press, again the same thing. Means you are muzzling or suppressing the press or the freedom or the freedom to write the journalistic article, etc. Okay, imprisonment over 1 lakh people and reduce parliament and courts to shadow of themselves. मतलब क्या है? Means all the power of parliament and courts were taken by the government. Or like that something. Means the power of the parliament and the power of the court got reduced substantially. It did not come through violence or revolution, it came through law. Okay, so the law of national emergency, है ना. So it was later on passed by both the houses also, है ना. Indira Gandhi claimed she was saving democracy. In fact, she was suffocating it. मतलब उन्होंने ये लिखा है, ऑथर ने लिखा है कि इंदिरा गांधी ने कहा था कि मैं डेमोक्रेसी बचा रही हूँ, लेकिन सच्चाई में वो उसको दबा रही थी. That is what the author has written. Okay, so these are, he is talking about the books etc written by him. है ना. ये वाला वीडियो देख लीजिएगा. Please watch it. This is very, very important. 50 years of emergency, darkest chapter in Indian democracy. Please watch it. The army chief, General T.N. Rana, a fellow Kashmiri, was asked for his support, but he refused to get into the politics, so he did not come into the politics much. Okay. And we had discussed in this class also that it was the national emergency was declared on the pretext of internal disturbance under Article 352. It was criticized a lot. These are the things. और इसमें मैंने एक और चीज डिस्कस किया था. Can you please tell me the name of the case where Justice H.R. Khanna was the only judge who dissented? So 4:1 judgment was passed. 4 judges passed the judgment favoring the government. One judge, Justice H.R. Khanna, passed a judgment which was against the government's opinion, and that is why he was supposed to be the next CJI according to the seniority rule, but unfortunately he was not appointed because he had passed an order against the government. So which case I am talking about? मैंने इस क्लास में बताया है, and this is very very important this time because we have completed 50 years of emergency. So all those topics related with emergency will be very very important. Like for the second amendment 1976 will also be very important. This also I have discussed on our YouTube session. तो इस वीडियो में मैंने बताया है how to watch for the second amendment class. Please tell me the name of the case. Very famous judgment. Please. Anyone? No one has watched this class. Here I have discussed. It's very very important. That's why I'm saying. कोई तो बता दे. हाँ, habeas corpus case. Right. हाँ. ठीक है. So habeas corpus case, right? Nirali Mehta, you're right. Habeas corpus case, also known as famously ADM Jabalpur versus Shafkant Shukla. ADM Jabalpur case 1976. Okay. Sir, according to you, how will be the CLAT 2026 paper? Purva, it is very difficult to actually say how it will be tough or easy. But you should follow the PYQs and the current affairs, and you'll be able to easily handle it. Okay. You have to watch the newspapers, read the newspapers daily, है ना. खैर, अब इसमें इतना डिटेल नहीं जाना है. Here we are talking about one more thing. एक law pass किया गया था, MISA, Maintenance of Internal Security Act. This act was passed again during the this is also very important. Please remember it. MISA Act, Maintenance of Internal Security Act. It was a preventive detention law. मतलब क्या हुआ? Preventive detention laws are criticized a lot in India. Preventive detention law means MISA, Maintenance of Internal Security Act. Okay. So basically it means that police can arrest you if police fears that you may create some problem, even if you have not created. That is called as preventive detention law. And this was brought during emergency, and this law was misused to arrest many people. Those who do not have any past criminal background also were arrested. So these are the things. Then there were brutal sterilization campaigns, slum demolition were there, etc. Entire neighborhood in Delhi were razed. Protesters were shot, etc. Inmates were tortured. All of it was legal. Legal को court में लिखने means they might have passed the law. None. It was democratic. So these are the things they're talking about. Okay. So when the emergency ended, Indira Gandhi voted out in a landslide victory. Yes, this also we had discussed that Indira Gandhi was in power from 1966 to 77. She had imposed emergency from 25th June 1975 to March 1977. And after election, she lost. So Janata Party government came to power, and Janata Party government brought 44th Amendment, 1978. And it tried to undo a lot of things which were done during emergency. It tried to bring a lot of safeguards regarding that. So to prevent such abuses from recurring, these are the things you should know. So then he is comparing it with America, that US Donald president has not declared emergency. अब इतना अमेरिका में डिटेल में नहीं जाना है. He is comparing with America, but I don't think that's much required. ठीक है. Thomas Paine को quote करें, but these are not very important, है ना. Okay. Let's move on to settled semantics. देखो actually ये वही preamble की बात हो रही है. So by 42nd amendment, again this 42nd amendment was during emergency, and I have taken a class on 42nd amendment. Just go to YouTube and search this 42nd amendment career launcher. Search this on YouTube. You will get a video. Okay. So here I had discussed that yes, by 42nd amendment, 3 words were added in preamble. Let me show where is preamble. Yes, socialist, secular, and integrity. So these 3 words were added. ठीक है, socialist, secular and integrity. Now so basically they are talking about actually some people had said recently, there were some leaders who had said that socialist and secular word needs to be removed etc. Okay, so that was recently in the news. Okay, and this was brought during a emergency time, and that is why it is not correct that this should be there etc. Okay, fair. So अब इसमें ये है, even D Raja has written an article talking about this. So first you have to understand, in fact we had discussed earlier also in this class, इसमें मैंने डिस्कस किया प्रीएम्बल वाली क्लास में, that these three are actually symbolic in nature primarily. So India is socialist. Socialist means, देखो इस आर्टिकल में डी राजन had written also, socialist means here welfare state concept. That is what the Supreme Court has interpreted, that the DPSP talks about in India, है ना, directive principle of state policy, है ना, like equal pay for equal work for men and women, है ना. Then there are many other things, maternity benefit act should be there, है ना. So that is what the idea of socialist is. And secular means everyone should be treated equally, है ना, no state religion, and people of all the religion should be treated equally. That is the idea of secularism in India. Okay, so we word it. So that is what we'll be talking about. So even if this word is removed here, it will not actually impact as such the constitution, because, for example, socialist is because of course DPSPs and other welfare related concepts which are there in the constitution. Secular means since people are treated equally irrespective of the religion, and it is because of Article 14, equality before law, Article 325, 326 talking about universal adult franchise. It means everyone 18 plus are have a right to vote irrespective of religion, race, caste, gender, है ना. So then Article 25 which talks about right to freedom of religion. So these are the things. So I mean, the term socialist secular, although it was added by 42nd Amendment, but it was actually just symbolic in nature primarily. That is what is being discussed. So here also it is being discussed. He's actually quoting Mr. D. Raja from the Communist Party of India. He has written this article where also he's talking about that Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar had said that the state shall not recognize any religion as state religion. So these are the arguments being given. ठीक है, इसमें अब इतना डिटेल नहीं जाना है ना. The Supreme Court has said that socialist here means a welfare state. Okay. Now let's talk about GST. Can anyone tell me that GST is which constitutional amendment? So they are talking about right now. पहले आप बताओ which amendment is GST? GST was brought on 1st July 2017. Please tell me which amendment. Yes, Player 456. Very good. You're right. 401st constitutional amendment. Okay. So it brought GST. And is GST a direct tax or indirect tax? Is it a direct tax or an indirect tax? Goods and services tax. Yes, Nirali, Harsh, Dhatri, you all are right. 101 is the right answer. Is it a direct tax or an indirect tax? Indirect tax. Direct tax तो income tax वगैरह होता है ना, which cannot be passed on to others. GST is an indirect tax. Okay, खैर तो यहाँ लिखा हुआ भी, even it is written, देखो indirect tax system, where it is written है ना. So he's saying that with poorest tax collection, so in this time recent days we have seen the poorest tax collection according to author, but इतना numbers नहीं याद रखना, because of course it keeps on changing when you will attempt the exam. After that there will be changes etc. ठीक है. तो for first amendment याद रखना 1st July 2017 को पास हुआ. That's why 1st July celebrated as GST day. And 1st July को Doctors Day भी होता है, you know. Doctors Day. Why? Because Dr. B.C. Roy, the Chief Minister of Bengal, was a doctor. In his memory, we celebrate 1st July as Doctors Day also. ठीक है. ठीक है. So ये आपको पता होगा GST में 0, 5, 12, 18, 28 these are the tax slab. And plus petroleum products, alcohols and electricities are not outside the purview of GST. I hope you all are aware of these things. ठीक है. I'm not in a favor of remembering these percentage because it keeps on changing. But एक rough idea होना चाहिए कि recently we have seen a dip in tax GST collection. बस हो गया. That's it. बाकी concepts पता होना चाहिए. GST से related different tax है, slab है. GST Council is there under Article 279 capital A. Under Article 279 capital A of the Indian Constitution talks about GST Council, whose chairman is Finance Minister. They can ask this. ठीक है. That is what you should know. China used conflict between India and Pak. हाँ, ये बहुत interesting था. Like, of course, he's actually Deputy Army Chief of India. Okay, Lieutenant General Rahul Singh. And he said very interesting thing. I mean, it was very much in the news. China used conflict between India and Pakistan as a live lab. It means he's saying that basically China was completely aiding Pakistan during that Operation Sindoor and the conflict. And he's saying that it's a live lab means China was testing all its weapon, how it will respond when it comes to fighting with India. So India had to deal with 3 adversaries during Operation Sindoor, with Pakistan being front face and China and Turkey. So he said that during Operation Sindoor, we had to fight actually 3 countries. Although directly we were fighting with Pakistan, but on the backside, there was China and Turkey supporting. Okay, Lieutenant General was addressing an event and New Age Military Technologies. There was some event where he was talking about it. Okay, so उसमें भी बता रहे हैं, said that the conflicts emphasize the need for indigenization of defense technology. Indigenization means we need to have our own make in India. So we should try our best to manufacture most of our defense technologies or defense, let's say guns, etc., everything within our own country instead of buying it. And we need a robust air defense system. Air defense system like something like Iron Dome type, S-400 type. While stressing the country must be prepared for the future. And he talked about China's ancient military essay, 36 stratagems, where he says, which suggests killing the adversary with a borrowed knife. मतलब चाइना में पुरानी कहावत है कि अगर किसी दुश्मन को मारना है तो नाइफ किसी और से मांगो और फिर मारो. मतलब क्या हुआ कि what you call it as proxy war. So here actually is referring that China was fighting against India, but not directly, with the help of Pakistan. That is what he means to say. China would rather use the neighbor to cause pain to India. मतलब वही बोले कि pain to India. So he will, according to him, that China was using Pakistan, to attack India or something like that. That is what he means to say. And 81% of the military hardware of Pakistan gets from China. So that is what he had said. So of course it was swarm drones वगैरह आ रहे थे. Swarm drones मतलब क्या, एक बार झुंड में बहुत सारे ड्रोन आ जाना, है ना. If too many drones attack from enemy side, it becomes very difficult to handle. और एक बार 50 ड्रोन आ जाए तो कैसे हैंडल करना, छोटा छोटा होता है ना, उसको मारना भी मुश्किल होता है. So that's the problem. So these are the things he is talking about. हालांकि इंडिया में टेक्नोलॉजी बनाई है ना, swarm drones के against, है ना. And he also raised the important issues, important role played by Turkey, etc. in this, supporting Pakistan. Now let's move on to another article. Government has no position on Dalai Lama's succession, insists Ministry of External Affairs. China warns against interference. देखो Dalai Lama, you know who is Dalai Lama, है ना. So यहाँ पे तिब्बत है, ठीक है. So I hope you are aware that China has some issues with Tibet, especially the Buddhist leaders. So there was Dalai Lama, the Buddhist leader. He had to, in fact, come to India. हाँ, पंजाब के खेतों में ड्रोन गिरा था, right? हाँ, शर्मा, that was seen. हाँ, correct. So ये बता ये रहे हैं. हाँ, yes. We are talking about this. Like Dalai Lama is actually a person, is a Tibetan Buddhist leader. Since 1959, he is staying in Dharamshala. Dharamshala is actually in Himachal Pradesh, a very beautiful place. So he's staying there. In fact, India has given a shelter to him, actually, and he is considered as religious leader of Tibetan Buddhist. Okay, so basically, 1959 में वो India आ गए थे, because the Tibetan leaders had some conflict with the Chinese government, with the Chinese establishment. And 1959 Tibetan uprising के बाद Dalai Lama escaped to India, where he continues to live since 1959. है ना. So आप देख सकते हो 1959 में Tibetan uprising हुआ था, at a series of protests in the Tibet's capital of Lhasa against the China's government. So China tried to suppress it, and that's why they had to come run away from the country. And since 1959 they are living in India. Okay, now he has become very old. आपने देखा होगा ये काफी बूढ़े हो गए. 1935. So almost, if you see 1935 से almost he's 90 years old, right? है ना. 6 जुलाई का, yes, 6 जुलाई 1935 की बात है ना. So 6 जुलाई को he will become, आज कितना तारीख है, 5 जुलाई है. Tomorrow he'll become 90 years of age. Okay, so of course there is a need to have some successor. तो मतलब इनके बाद कौन लीडर होगा, है ना. So that is what the idea is. So इसी की बात हो रही है. China reacts to Dalai Lama's remarks, successor name must come from golden urn, needs Beijing's not. So China ने कहा कि नहीं, अगर इनके जो सक्सेसर होंगे वो चाइना की परमिशन से होने चाहिए. But of course, since Dalai Lama and these leaders do not have good relation with China, so of course they will not allow, or they will not want that the successor will come from the China's permission. Okay, I mean, China's warning. Kiren Rijiju is India's minister. He has said that he wants, all devotees want Dalai Lama to decide on his successor. तो उन्होंने कहा कि दलाई लामा खुद डिसाइड करेंगे कि उनका सक्सेसर कौन होगा. And I think Mr. Kiren Rijiju is also a Buddhist and he's a minister in India, है ना? So that's what you should know. And golden own पढ़ लेना, एक past idea था where King Dynasty China की decide करती थी, है ना? So that is what is being talked about. Now let's talk about another article. Chief Justice of India shows complete transparency in collegium system. Actually, collegium has been criticized a lot for opaqueness, for non-transparency. I hope you all are aware. We have discussed, है ना? अभी ये भी न्यूज में था कुछ दिन पहले कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट कॉलेजियम recommends 39 names for high court judges appointment. And I have discussed in detail about this. Please watch it. This is very, very important, where you will get to know how appointment of judges happen. So one of the heaviest criticism is, since collegium में 5 judges decide, so they sit inside the room, 5 judges decide who should be the next Supreme Court judge, है ना? तो उसमें 5 लोग मिलकर डिसाइड करते हैं. वो बस इतना आता है कि yes, we have decided to select this person to be the next Supreme Court judge, and we are recommending this name to the president. And it has been criticized for being opaque because, of course, nobody knows why this person has been chosen and why not other person has been chosen. Of course, these decisions are non-transparent. That is the heaviest criticism of collegium. सबसे ज़्यादा जो criticism है, actually 2 है. एक है कि non-transparent, another criticism is of nepotism. भाई बची दबाव कहते हैं ना, कि अपने रिश्तेदार दोस्त सबको बना देते हो जज, brother judges or something like that. कि okay, you are making high court judges and Supreme Court judges from specific families only, है ना? These are the allegations. तो main allegation collegium पे ये. वैसे आप इसको देख लीजिएगा. Here I have discussed about INJAC also. हाँ. So please watch it and make notes out of it. This is very, very important. Let's move on further. Families of 47 victims of Air India plane crash receive interim payout. Interim payout मतलब 25 lakh के आसपास they have got. Okay. You know, is a part of minimum legal liability for airlines in case of death. So minimum 25 lakhs देना होता है. Minimum liability है अगर किसी का death हो जाए plane crash में. तो वैसे Tata Group had announced ex gratia of 1 crore total. Yes, Arya. Please read those things, Manthan and the Hindu analysis seriously. Yes, you will. I will not say 100% sure, but yes, your chances are very high that you will get the value. है ना? ठीक है. When it comes to Russia-Ukraine war, देखो एक चीज ये वाला important है. Russia becomes first nation to recognize Taliban regime. I hope you are aware. August 2021, Taliban came to power, almost after 20 years. When US military completely left the Afghanistan, etc. Okay. और जहां तक इसकी बात है, रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर की बात है, we had discussed the class on this. Please watch it. You will get to know about Russia Ukraine war in detail. Like the main reason why the war is happening is because of Donbass region, which Russia wanted to capture from Ukraine, etc., which comprises of Donetsk and Luhansk. So these are the things. थोड़ा सा आपको पता होना चाहिए, है ना? Kyiv मतलब यूक्रेन struck by Russia's largest aerial assault since the start of Ukraine war. मतलब रशिया ने बहुत जोर का अटैक किया यूक्रेन पर. And before that there was Operation Web Spider that was done. Operation Web Spider was done by Ukraine on Russia. Please read it. We have discussed it in paid classes. But if you are not from there, please read it. I think it's there in Manthan also. Operation Web Spider. It was an attack by Ukraine on Russia. Okay. Please read it. That is very, very important. So this is all about today's class. Please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, share this video. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.